I wish to begin my remarks this morning by acknowledging the incredible leadership of President Uhuru Kenyatta and the country's exemplary role in its response to COVID-19 in advancing our Agenda 2030. Your Excellency, your Big Four development agenda continues to demonstrate a recipe for accelerating human development and progress in this decade of action for the SDGs. I'm grateful for the possibility of joining you today to discuss the role of partnerships to recover better from the pandemic and to get back on track in delivering the 2030 Agenda. As the COVID-19 pandemic continues to advance, we have been forced to revise over and over again our data and projections to account for increasing numbers of lives, jobs, and livelihoods that have been lost and threatened by the pandemic and its socioeconomic impacts. But we've also seen unprecedented alliances, innovation and achievements, rapid migration to digital technologies and a new generation of finance products and infrastructure, and ambitious social protection programs implemented at a scale that has never been seen before. None of this would have been possible without partnerships. Indeed, COVID-19 has prompted extraordinary examples of collaboration on sustainable development. Last Friday, in our first SDG moment of the decade of action to accelerate the SDGs, we had the opportunity of hearing from our member states and the private sector from the UN system about their experiences and the power of collective action for stakeholders. Governments, businesses, local governments, and civil society continue to speak about the importance of working together for decisive, ambitious actions to address underlying inequalities and vulnerabilities that got us into this crisis in the first place, and then to plan how we in these responses can recover better. I'm pleased to confirm that our strong partnership based on mutual trust and respect already exists between the UN family and the government and people of Kenya. With this solid ground and good examples to follow across the globe in areas ranging from data, technology, protection of jobs, to women's participation in decision-making, social innovation, and successful transitioning to green portfolios, these are really the elements that we are needed to succeed in, the future. The UN Global Compact has a crucial role to play in allowing for such learning to become a reality. And we're very proud to have an amazing Kenyan woman at the helm of affairs. Sandra, welcome. As a platform of platforms, the Global Compact for the entire UN family is a front door for companies seeking to partner with the UN and an essential framework for principle-based collaboration. The UN Global Compact is well placed to identify new ways of engaging, building, promoting, and scaling the SDG partnerships for the future. Kenya has the ingredients to succeed. I congratulate the UN country team and the government of Kenya for swiftly repurposing $45 million from the UN Development Assistance Framework and mobilizing an additional $58 million for the COVID-19 response and recovery agenda. This has helped make possible the deployment of more than 150 staff and experts and volunteers to help the government to support more than 10 million vulnerable people. The SDG Partnership Platform Kenya has also generated important gains, including an investment pipeline for healthcare, efforts to protect livelihoods in agriculture, and steps to harness the potential of technology, big data, and innovation. And all this with a very special focus on our young people. I'm convinced that Kenya will continue demonstrating that results and transformation are possible. And I call upon all of you to redouble the efforts to invest at scale in those critical interventions that will unlock benefits across the goals, to make bold choices and to take decisive action and leave no one behind in the pursuit of our better future. I wish us all a really fruitful meeting, and I look forward to working with you to translate today's enthusiasm into tomorrow's SDG achievements. Once again, Your Excellency, thank you for having me today.
You have instituted some of the boldest reforms in the United Nations system which have been ever attempted. Not easy. It's a movement forward. As we sit in this ecosystem, the COVID-19 came in as a big surprise and really put a pause on many things. How do you see your country teams now being able to become far more fit for purpose given the current context? Over to you, Madam Deputy Secretary.
Thank you very much. My hard stop is after I hear the President of Kenya. Sid, look, the truth is that we have to be humble enough to know that the UN today needs to be a collaborator, a partner. And so therefore, having the skill sets and becoming that place that we can convene and we can connect all those partnerships for scale is really what we need to be about. And I think that this is what we're doing. We're very lucky that we have the framework of the SDGs, because there is nothing in that that does not apply to a country, just perhaps the way you prioritize it, you shape it. Every time I look at country plans, I see the SDGs, and it shouldn't be the other way around, trying to fit everyone into our plans. It should be that this speaks to their plans, and by governments and people actualizing their own visions and aspirations, we get the SDGs. And I think that this is, you know, for us, it's about partnerships. It's about the economy and how inclusive it can become, and who the players are in the economy. And really, with government being the facilitator, institutions being there to carry the scale of this, of the services that are needed, the enabling environment, but that we need to grow our businesses, and we need to grow the capacities of young people to meet those aspirations that they have. I think it's amazing that you were able to visit Silicon Valley, because you know, you can leapfrog a lot of things. We don't have to go through the same tracks. We can do that. Just the migration of the informal sector onto a digital platform, bringing them closer to the formal economy, is an amazing opportunity and a leapfrogging initiative that we're having now because of COVID. So I would say to young people, this right now, UN at 75, the way that we're reforming has to do with an intergenerational transition. It's a new era. And we're thinking cities, we're thinking young people, we're thinking technology. And so we cannot use the tools or necessarily the profiles of 1945. We need to move. And that's really what we're pushing. And, you know, change comes hard, but it's worth it. It's part of our journey. And I'm very excited. And that's why it's so important for me to have an opportunity to hear and collaborate at a country level activity. And I'm especially pleased to see Miriam Sidibe there. I haven't seen you for such a long time. And to see Ruth Kagia, who is one of the best people I can tell you, who leads on issues like education, but has brought that, I think, brought that home into providing many more skills, capacities, expertise, mindset changes, which can move you, you know, streets ahead of anyone else. And you know, so great to see Kenya leading. And I hope that they're, you know, setting the benchmark so that it's a race to the top. And, you know, that's the hope, and that's the excitement that we all have.
Madam Deputy Secretary-General, if you recall, when you were leading on the SDGs on behalf of the UN, you actually had Kenya and Ireland juxtaposed with you as part of the Open Working Group in advancing the SDG agenda. So I think this is such an opportune time for you to be here as we are looking at this decade of action, that it is in this very country that which provided leadership at the Open Working Group to really make sure that the SDGs came to fruition. And it's quite clear, Madam Deputy Secretary-General, that SDG 3 has suddenly raised its profile and its primacy. And I think that is something that we have to be far more mindful of. And